It's very important. It's important in many ways in reference to even Congress, I guess you'd say. Uh, in reference to governors and mayors, they just mess with my mouth. They've been hitting me in the teeth too. In reference to governors and mayors in America and all 50 states, we need the governors and mayors to sign documents that they know where one of my mother and father's mansions are at. Even if, like in certain states, there's they might make a statement, or they might sign a document saying, oh, well, they know this house over here in this city and state, this mansion, or any of the 50 states. But of course, if they can mention a mansion that might be in that state, because my parents pretty much owned mansions in all 50 states. Is that not true? Is that true? So in reference to governors and mayors, to show them photographs of my mother and father's mansions. And, no politician or no government person has any connection to my mother or father's estates. Neither does any court judges either. I'm the only child of my mother and father. And another thing, in reference to class and education and accomplishments, these people are disrespecting me with their activities of trying to hold me hostage, and they're people trying to steal my accomplishments, and these people trying to play this game of blocking me from movies and TV shows and being on television and performing arts and movies and, commercials or anything, and supermodeling too, and bodybuilding competitions, or even bicycle races. There's a problem with that too. There are people that's blocking me from bicycle races, and people covering up the accomplishments of mine, and people blocking me from cross-country skiing accomplishments or Olympics or sports. Somebody needs to put together an investigative team of people, I guess, a news network, or CNN, and they need to find out which person is stealing all my accomplishments, which people are covering up my accomplishments. They need people to go into court and have live or daily updates on what people they spoke to, why people are blocking my identity from the media, when the royal protocol of my identity is in the media 24 hours a day. But, this is very important in reference to maybe the House of Representatives, Congress, the Senate, the Capitol building, and other places. So it's very important that governors and mayors, look at photographs of my mother and father's mansions and sign a document saying you've seen certain pictures of certain mansions, the outside of the mansions, because I'm supposed to be at my mother and father's mansions. I'm the only child. Nothing's ever for sale. Everything's protected by 100% bloodline information. I'm the only 100% bloodline of my mother and father. There will never ever be another 100% bloodline of my mother and father. Only me. So, in reference to these government people that are blocking me, whoever these bad government people are, trying to downgrade me, beating me up with satellites, burning on me, damaging my anatomy. Where's the lawsuit monies? Haven't received a penny yet. Has all the law enforcement agencies in America found out who the people are that are trying to steal my identity? Who the people are trying to trespass on my mother and father's estates? Who the people are that are blocking and stealing the postal mail? In reference to monies or checks or corporate credit cards I was supposed to receive from my mother and father's companies. There's a lot of people at companies, they brag about their children, And my mother and father owned companies, and I'm the only child. And for people to act like they're overshadowing me at my mother and father's companies, or they're trying to make themselves look like bigwigs by pretending like they didn't think I existed. That's more lawsuits too. And that's people need to get fired from the companies. And in reference to other properties and farms and in reference to history of my parents and grandparents, people trying to cover up the information, people need to get prosecuted. I'm the only child of my mother and father. I've never been a bad person. I'm the only child. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates. And these government people terrorizing my life, they have no legal right. And anybody trying to sabotage my entertainment career, there has to be court cases against them. Oh, and somebody wants me to mention about females. In reference to girls or females that wanted to date me, or a girl that wanted to date me, they need to make YouTube videos if whoever they come into contact with. Say, for instance, if a girl was trying to deliver a message to me in the postal mail. Oh, and don't forget, the Royal Protocol is a prenup documentation of everything. So in reference to anybody that stole sperm and artificially inseminated themselves, or if I had dated a girl and a girl had gotten pregnant, I'm not obligated financially. The Royal Protocol even says that, because they knew females would try to target me to steal my sperm, and then they would try to run off somewhere as if they had no intentions of dating me or being with me at all, which they were trying to steal sperm, and they were trying to steal from my mother and father's estates, like gold diggers or gold digging. You understand? So, it's a very serious thing. Reference to females, like females playing tricks saying, oh, this girl claims she wanted to be with you, but then she doesn't ever come over, she doesn't call you, she doesn't hang out with you, she don't see you, she don't spend time with you, but then she claims she wants to be with me. But she's never around, and I don't know which celebrity female that would be. Plus, I'm supposed to date celebrity females that are kind of wealthy or rich in basic information. Because if this type of situation of people blocking me from my money, and since I was born tax-free, I've had tax-free status because the government tried to murder me when I was a little boy and I was in a coma from government people trying to murder my parents, and I got injured when my parents got injured. And my parents won in all those court cases against the government. There's even tax records of the court cases for why I'm supposed to be tax-free. And in reference to people that tried to send money, or they tried to send cars, or they tried to send gifts, or they tried to put money on my GoFundMe, make a video saying, whichever person, even if you put $1 on there or $5, just say, hey, I put $1 on the GoFundMe for you. Hey, how you doing? Make a little YouTube just so we can use it in court against anybody that's trying to steal any of the monies. But, in reference to the Royal Protocol in the media, it even says it's a prenup. They knew, the courts knew, even back in the 60s and 70s, when I was little, they knew that these people would try to steal. They knew these people was trying to steal my identity, or they were trying to steal by gold digging. That's why the Royal Protocol has been there. It outranks court judges. And if somebody tried to communicate earlier, they said some court judge was funneling monies to females that had stolen children, or they had stolen sperm, and this court judge was trying to get monies under the table from those females or something. And this court judge was stealing all my court case monies that I had against people trying to steal my mother and father's estates, including females that tried to poach sperm, or females that had artificially inseminated themselves that had been conspiring against me in their activities. Royal Protocol is in the media 24 hours a day. And these people trying to steal my identity, they have to get arrested, whoever they are. I'm the only child of my mother and father forever. And all these government people playing these tricks, they have no legal stature to be doing these things. There is no legal stature. No legal stature for them to be messing with me, or terrorizing my life, or damaging my face and teeth or legs. None whatsoever. And the Music Hall of Fame said hello. No, I've never received a letter from you guys. I've not received any letters from any of the Sports Hall of Fames or the Olympics or anywhere. Not received nothing from anywhere. Haven't received any letters in the postal mail from the Screen Actors Union, Directors Union, or Writers Union. None whatsoever. Occasionally I see an email on there, but it's only an advertisement. All the emails I ever get are only that these people are stealing all the personal emails that people have tried to send to me. And the only emails that I see on there are advertisements for things. So, Maybe somebody's tried to send a personal friendly letter to me, but then somebody on the internet steals it. And then they just send some other email, like just an advertisement from that location or something. But in reference to court judges, a prenup cannot be broken. A prenup's in reference to friendships too, which I'm not obligated to give anything away. Because, you know, some people try to act like a friend, and then they would try to murder me, or they would try to rape me, or they would try to injure me, and then they would try to steal from my mother and father's estates, or they would try to play their tricks of trying to frame me where they were trying to get lawsuit monies from them slipping and falling, or them claiming they got injured on my mother and father's property or something. You know, insurance scams of people. And these satellite controllers have been really terrorizing me. They damaged my teeth and my face. They've damaged other things on my anatomy. They're still burning my tailbone right now. That's attempted murder. I'm not gay, not going to be gay, not never. And these men holding me hostage, they've communicated that they intentionally were holding me hostage because they were trying to turn me gay. I'm not gay. I don't even have gay genes. There is no gay genetics in my anatomy. Straight 100%. And in reference to, I only like females, I only date females. But, you know, in reference to people, in reference to females in the situation, people need to know which female said they wanted to date me, which female said they wanted to marry me, which female said they wanted to be with me as a relationship or a public media relationship. I have not even heard anything from anybody. And Indiana does not control the world media. And every time they kidnapped me from New York, North Carolina, California, all the times they ever kidnapped me, they held me hostage in Indiana. And Arkansas. And some places along the way. So, you know, in reference to the facts of information, you know, in reference to governors and mayors looking up mansion properties of my mother and father, is very important, because I'm the only person that has legal right living in those mansions. You understand that, right? So in reference to governors and mayors, it's important that they, you know, just, you know, look at a few pictures of my mother and father's mansions in any city and state, and the city and state that they're a governor and mayor in, and acknowledge that they know of those mansions. Just like, you know, just say, oh yeah, we've seen that picture before of that mansion. Oh yeah, we know where that mansion is. We've seen this one. We've heard of this one. We've heard of that one. Oh, we've heard of Beverly Hills. We've heard of Malibu. We've heard of you know, New York and properties. We've heard, you know, nothing. The Royal Protocol's been there since I was born. That protects the estates of my parents forever, and the fact that I'm the owner forever. My parents gave me the estates when they were alive. Wasn't dating nobody. Wasn't involved in any relationship with any female at the time my parents gave me everything. No female I ever dated, they did not create my mother and father's estates. They did not create my mother and father's wealth. I am the only child of my mother and father. And the estates are protected by 100% bloodline. Not half-blood, not half-breeds, 100%. And don't forget, my mother and father was kind of like distant cousins. And so was my grandfathers and grandmothers. Basic information of particulars of what you'd call royal history of things. So, you know, in reference to the information of governors and mayors, every governor and mayor knows I am always supposed to be at one of my mother and father's mansions. You guys know that, right? So in reference to governors and mayors, if you want to shine in this particular situation, of this situation is a historic problem in reference to people and their scams, or people trying to steal everything from me. It's very important. I'm the only child of my mother and father. I'm the owner forever. And I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. Does every governor and mayor know which mansions I got kidnapped from? Do they know the time and dates when I got kidnapped? They're messing with my throat. Do you know when I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions? Does all the mayors and governors and Congress have it all on documents and memos. This is very serious. I haven't received any of the lawsuit monies, but somebody had said, they said, oh, this court judge was going against your status of protection of money and wealth protection. He's making his own personal decision. No, see, that's why the role protocol's there. It even says that there's certain stature of females that I'm only allowed to date certain stature of females, like certain females that have certain types of careers. So in reference to poachers trying to steal sperm, and then they tried to artificially inseminate females that come from a lower financial level than the classifications of what my parents had documented. I mean, I'm friendly with all kinds of people, but this is just about the dirty government and the types of people they would try to use to hold me hostage. And I'm friendly with all kinds of people, you know. Everybody knows I'm friendly. But, you know, my parents had guidelines, and just like most people, they usually follow their parents' guidelines, don't they? Well, my parents had guidelines written on documents at the Treasury and the Supreme Court and some other places. And a financial stature document in reference to financial standards that the Treasury has never enforced at all. Such as I was supposed to have credit cards from my mother and father's companies. These people are dragging along the scam that they're running, trying to hold me down, holding me hostage, bullying me, abusing me with satellites, disrespecting my parents and family history of law and guidelines that my parents had set for me. They even had to make special laws to protect me back when I was a little boy. Obviously, some of the court judges that are in office are not doing their job because they're allowing these people to play these tricks or something. So in reference to governors and mayors and other people in politics and government, need them to sign a document saying they've seen photographs of my mother and father's mansions in all 50 states or, you know, whichever states. Just, you know, whatever. Oh, yeah, we've seen this picture. We've seen that picture. Yeah, that mansion and this mansion. Well, I'm supposed to be at all my mother and father's mansions. And the Coast Guard said hello or something. You know, many things of importance. And this is hello Coast Guard and hello friendly people. But, you know, in reference to, I haven't received anything from the embassies. I have not received anything from anywhere. And these people are running some scam trying to steal my identity, and this is just total BS. These people even know my DNA. They even know my fingerprints. And yet they're still acting like they thought that they'd get away with squatting or confiscating or intercepting monies that I was supposed to have received in the postal mail. They haven't stopped these people at all, have they? How many people have they arrested stealing the postal mail? Check to see what the agenda is of these people and what race and religion they are. It's very important. So, you know, in reference to this dirty court judge that somebody tried to communicate saying that he was funneling monies from court cases that I was supposed to have received monies from, he was funneling it to these women that stole sperm because he's tied in with them trying to get monies under the table or something. The Royal Protocol prenup is in the media. It's been there the whole time, and they knew people would target me to try to steal everything from me. And it is documented in Supreme Court documents and high-ranking courts and internationally. That's one of the reasons why the Royal Protocol is in the media, too. And, you know, these people saying, well, this girl wants to be with you. Well, there's nobody here. I don't have a letter from anybody, any of the females. I didn't receive any letters from any of their publicists either, or any supermodels or actresses or singers that are friends, or even a female that's interested in dating me. I don't have any letters from anybody. Anyways, lots of things of importance. And, you know, it even says on those Treasury documents that I was supposed to receive court case money within 24 hours because they knew that government would try to cause more injuries, or the government would try to cover up the violations by dragging it out and covering it up and trying to belittle this situation. And that's what they've been doing. So people need to know what names of what people claim that they were in control of something that they were stealing from me. People trying to steal monies or accounts that my parents had set up for me. People holding me hostage when they had kidnapped me from California. You know, there's got to be some investigative news network to find out what the hell these people are trying to do. It's attempted murder every day. Lots of things of importance.